Welcome back.
What's up, y'all? Eagle Talk in the building.
Eagle Talk in the building. And speaking of being in the building, y'all see him. Y'all see my baby. Or maybe you don't see him because you're listening to us.
No, they watching this.
You're watching us on YouTube.
Let's do it.
We have had this YouTube channel for a little over a month now.
We have.
And we are really working to get our subscribers up. So do us a favor. Go ahead and
like, subscribe, and share.
And share the channel, because we are your homies coming here every week just to talk that talk with you, that Eagle Talk. So it's your girl. I'm Rosemary Lewis.
And my name is Corey Lewis, and we are about to have a Come to Jesus Eagle Talk with y'all.
Y'all. And I got to tell you, so we're about to talk about something that came up in a therapy session. So newsflash, Black folks go to therapy.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, Black folks, yellow folks, big folks, little folks,
Everybody.
Everybody, I think will benefit from a therapist. And shout out to my client, Tyranny, because Tyranny invited me to a podcast. Honestly, that's why I met you, Glennis. Glennis is our producer. Y'all can't see him, but he's our producer. And that's where I met him doing her podcast. And she made a comment, y'all, and she was like, I feel like everybody should go to therapy. Almost like even if you just go for your yearly checkup, your yearly tune-up. And when she said that like one comment struck a chord, and I started going to a therapist.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah.
But today, and congratulations on going to therapy.
Yes. And so that's what I was going with. Look, forgot the story. So y'all, I have been with my therapist that I'm working with now for about 2.5 years. And look, didn't the Lord do it right? I met her like literally right before pandemic. And I was having a conversation with her, and we're talking about just life and different things that I'm involved in and wanting to do. And I guess and this may be a shocker because I'm out here telling all of y'all to do it scared, but I was sounding real scary on this call with my therapist. And she asked me a question that was a little bit of a low blow, but it really got me thinking. And this is a question that I presented to Corey, and we're going to present to y'all. And that question was, she said, Rosemary, do you think you're playing small?
Great question.
Like, the nerve.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's a valid question, and not just in a therapy session, but period, because a lot of people do play it small. I operate on it needs to scare me. I want to do it big, and if I don't feel kind of scared about it, then it's not big enough. So I totally understand the question. And what was your answer?
Well, honestly, y'all, my answer was, first of all, I had to take a second, and I couldn't answer right away because so it was more of a rhetorical question, meaning that I had to ponder like what that meant for me. And the reason being is that in our life, especially in the last few years, I feel like I've played it pretty big, right? Yeah. We are from Chicago, so we came to Texas. Didn't know anybody. I changed careers, like just really have started to put myself out there in a bigger space. And I'm telling my therapist all this, right?
Right, but that's also after being in your teaching career for 14 years.
After teaching for 14 years. Yeah. So I'm telling her like, and then I'll tell you what she said. So I'm telling her like, I don't know if I will play this small because I'm doing all of these things that were not natural for me. They're scary things, but I did them scared. And here we are. And then she said, okay, so it sounds like you probably always play the small.
Facts. That's hilarious.
She was like, so if you're doing all that right now, it seems like maybe, have you played it small your whole life? And when she said that, I was like, okay, yep. I definitely, now looking back to then, I definitely think that being comfortable and in my zone and in my box and in my zone of proximal development or whatever one of those philosophers said, where I was in my groove, that safety net caused me to play it small. So we're going to just talk to y'all about a few ways that we have identified when we are playing it small, and it might help y'all.
Yeah.
So what about you? But before I get into it, do you feel like you're playing it small?
No, absolutely not. I think that
he always said, you don't feel like no area of your life you playing it small.
Oh yeah, some area, but I mean, like 51%, meaning majority of my life, I haven't played it small.
Okay,
I've taken a lot of risks and I failed a lot, to be honest with you. But in answering that question, I don't think I play it big enough. I play it big, but I don't play it.
You could go bigger.
For sure.
You could go bigger.
For sure.
Okay, I agree with that. So here is number one, how we figured out when you are probably playing it too small, right? Everything you're doing is just too easy.
That's my example right there.
You're not challenged with any area, or there are areas where you're definitely not challenged in. Like you can just go in and write them lesson plans. You can go in and not think twice about, presenting something for your job. And you feel like, ooh, I'm skilled and I'm great at what I do, which you are. But are you great because you haven't challenged yourself recently?
Yeah, that's a comfort zone conversation, if you ask me. Because a lot of times people get just comfortable in the easiness of it being easy, then it is what it is, right? I'm just sitting back and I'm chilling. I'm thinking about, I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago and they were talking about their mortgage or their rent or something like that. And they was like, nah, because I can't move over here. I can't do that because it's going to be an extra $300 a month or $400 a month. And I'm like, well, go create it.
Go get it.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that driving Uber for the week, but just the mentality of playing it small and it being easy, I think is just a comfortable situation for people.
No, do you remember that time we went, Corey and I went to a housewarming for our friend, and she was living in an apartment, and there was a guy there who lived in the same apartment.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yep.
So there's a guy there and he was like, hey, it was almost like sad. Like, man, I hate to see him go.
You haven't finished it, but this story is so on par with what I just said.
It's so on par. So the guy literally, he was at the housewarming. They built a beautiful home, but something that's totally attainable, right? And he got to Texas, he said, in 1998, their neighbor from the apartment. And okay, in 1998 in Texas, you probably could have bought a 5-bedroom house for $100,000.
Yeah, all day
literally,
long.
the market looked totally different than it does right now. Mm-hmm. And he pretty much was like, man, I'm in Addison, I'm Central, I love where I live, and I just never got any place else to live. And he was living in the same apartment since 1998, like literally 22 or so odd years in the same apartment.
The conversation was so weird for me, I had to walk away because I didn't even want to try for this one.
But you know what? It was too easy for him.
It was too easy.
Right? He never played it big and sought home ownership because it was just too easy to rent. And I just dare to say, I just wonder where that guy is right now, because now that this market is so aggressive, 9 times out of 10, he might not be in position to buy. Wow. Plus, these apartments going up like $500 and $600, so he might not even be in position to stay there. But it's because he had it too easy. Yeah,
I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. Actually, he lives in Las Colinas, and he said for a 2-bedroom, they went up to $3,500 a month.
$3,500. That's more than our mortgage for this. Okay,
that's crazy.
All right. Moving right along. Okay. And a sign that you may be playing it small is if you keep making excuses for yourself.
Excuses are tools of what is it?
Excuses are tools of incompetence.
They mean monuments of nothingness, and those that dwell upon them are certainly good for anything.
Okay, so Corey Greek, we ain't gonna tell you what Greek he is. All Greek people know that part, right? But that's it. Like when you keep making excuses because again, you're thinking it's too hard. So you know that everybody love your pound cakes, but you're not gonna start making them because you don't have enough time. Butter too high, you know what I'm saying? People oven don't get too high, you know what I'm saying? People, you just make up excuses trying to make it make sense in your head why you're not going for X. And I don't want to date on no app. I don't want to go to the store. I don't believe in going to that church. Like just consistently making excuses on why you can't make effort towards that thing. You're probably playing it small. Yeah,
I think too, for what I've studied, attitude has a lot to do with it. Mm-hmm. Like if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Either way, however you're thinking about it. But how you feel about playing it big or small is going to equal the result that you get.
Yep.
Right? You have to feel that you can do it big, or you have to feel you can do it small, and wherever you land is what you thought about.
Is what you thought about.
That's just pretty simple.
Okay, so here's
Earl Nightingale, by the way.
Earl Nightingale. Did you say? Yeah, you look. I'm thinking about a couple weeks ago when we did our online mentors. You did mention Earl at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned him. Okay, so something else, a sign that you may be planning small in your life is when you dread doing what you're currently doing. That's a big one.
That's a tough one.
That's a big one. So I'll give you an example. And it can be, okay, so when I was a teacher, right, an elementary school teacher, I love the kids. And I'm not going to say like teaching is not easy, but the routine of it, I knew what to expect. And that routine made it easy. It was easy to have summers off. It was easy to do all this. But I got to a place, y'all, where I just was not looking forward to going to the classroom. I wasn't looking forward to Monday mornings. I wasn't like the things that normally gave me joy about showing up in that way no longer gave me joy. And because I was dreading it, I knew that I wasn't going to be impactful. Mm-hmm. And even in our, like in my real estate career, I absolutely love what I get to do now and sell real estate. But I know that it has to be more for me, right? So more speaking, more teaching, more Eagle Talk, more opportunities to share, because I know I don't want to get to the point where, and that's a sad place to be, where it's something that you're passionate about and you love, and then there starts to be a shift and you dread it. And not because you dread the people or the task, but you just know that there is more inside of you.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the subject of dreading what you do, correct?
Yeah.
I'm thinking a couple things, but I'll just share this. I think, at least for me, people hate Mondays, right? Mm-hmm. I start on Sunday. So in my life, my Sunday is my Monday. And why do I do that? Because I don't dread what I do, I guess. But I'm saying that to say, if you do dread what you do, you're going to have to figure out a way to like it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. And I'm not talking about just job. I'm just talking about just in general. You have to look at it from a different perspective, in my opinion. So if you do dread what you do, and it's easy to have that feeling, I think you need to find some kind of way to make it somewhat enjoyable.
So listen, I'm gonna tell you. So the first time we used to go on vacations when we, like, have y'all ever been on a vacation and like when it's time to go home, you starting to feel sad? Mm-hmm. You know, like you looking like, man, we got 2 more days.
Right.
We got 1 more day.
Yeah.
This our last night. This our last breakfast, right? Because then you go to the house or back home and you like, oh, I gotta go back to it. This is when I knew we made the best decision about moving to Texas. Because remember this? Yeah. We were living in Texas and I was so used to that vacation depression, right? And I really think it's a real thing. Like the people literally, depression sets in when they're leaving their vacation. And we went to Vegas. We were having a really good time. I got to see my sister. I won a little money. But when it was time to go home, I was like, okay, cool. It's time to go home. Yeah. That was the first time in my adult life that I did not dread that. And that came from stop playing it small, living in that comfortable place where all our family was, where everything was, and trying something different. For us, location has made such a huge difference, right? And even now, like I literally can be in Cabo and be like, okay, I'm ready to go home.
Yeah, and I'm ready to go back home. But you're actually speaking to my point when I said you have to learn to, whether it's changing your environment, changing your job, just changing your situation, you have to
play bigger.
You got to play bigger. And if we wouldn't have did it, then
we wouldn't have known.
Exactly.
We would have just thought, like, I literally thought that was just par for the course. Yeah. Is that every time you come off vacation, you're sad. And I cannot, and I'm not even just saying it, y'all, I cannot think of one time since I've been living here, for me, that when it was time to come home from vacation, that I wasn't like, okay, cool, it's time to go home.
Yeah. Let's keep feeding the people.
Feeding the people. Okay, here is the last. Oh, we got two more. Okay, so you know that you are playing it small when you don't even want to think about your future.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, because a lot of people, the future can be scary, and for somebody that's not happy with their situation, right? How can it get better? How can I make more money? How can I, switch careers like you did? So yeah, I think when you're thinking about your future, I think that a lot of people get not depressed, but they don't think they can have an abundant life in the future. Yeah. That's what
because if you're planning small, you already know that your future is going to be more of the same.
There you go.
Right.
There you
like
go.
So I can future forecast, but I know like at best I might be driving a little better car.
Yeah.
You know, so at best I might just, you know, like if you are planning small, then there's honestly nothing to look forward to. But then once we get into the habit of planning big, then your future is limitless. Like you out here dreaming. Like, you know what? I was looking at Corey showed me. This was just showing growth in your girl. He showed me a picture of video. If y'all haven't seen it, Google the guy who has Fashion Nova. Google his house.
141 million.
Like Google his house. And I used to look at stuff like that and be like, whatever. And honestly, that is not like my heart is not desiring that at this moment. But not because I don't believe it's not possible for me. Yeah, right. I was gonna say I believe like in just training my mind, and as I'm training my mind to and this is not like that seek it, preach it, you know, abundance, but this is just really tapping into my full potential. I'm excited about what my future may hold, because I know that it's like my goal is not just to retire and die.
Yeah. I'm thinking about somebody, a real good friend of ours, that he's very successful. He has a nice house here. And last year, he told me that he bought a lot on a gated community in a golf course that Tiger Woods helped build down by Houston. And I was like, oh, okay, what's the plan? He said, I'm gonna build a house. I'm like, for what? You got a nice house. He's like, I'm gonna build a house that we can drive to in 3 hours. And with my family, your family, somebody else's family, have a good week or weekend, whatever the case may be, and Airbnb it out when I'm not there. And I was like, that's a nice dream. You know, go build a 4,000 square foot house somewhere just because you can. But you really wanted a better future and experience for your family and friends.
And working for it. But if you are sitting here and you know, the thought of you in 10 years, the thought of 5 years from now, when it depresses you, then that means like, this is the thing that just like, y'all know what I hate more than, and I hate to use the word hate, but this is what I hate.
What you dislike.
No, I hate this.
Okay, she hated it. She must really hate it.
When people be like posting stuff on YouTube, like this the month that your credit gonna get fixed. Like I receive like everybody reading this, you gonna get the house way.
Do the work.
How? Like how is your future just going to automatically change because you name it and claim it? No, you gotta do the work. Faith without works is dead. And if we're dreading, and this I'm preaching to myself too, if we're dreading or not even thinking about the future, or the thought of our future depresses us, look, don't let it depress you. Let it be like, okay, there's area of opportunity there. So how do I need to play big so that I can get excited about the possibilities?
Yeah. And use other people's stories to motivate you. Don't have that jealous and envious spirit. Look at what somebody else has done and what they have attained. Not just the stuff. It could be mindset. It could be vacations. It could be something that you're trying to get or go towards, and use that as a motivational tool.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the last one. Sight that you may be playing it small in your life is that you just refuse to do it scared.
Dun. Dropping on the people.
Now you're dropping on the people.
If you refuse, I don't know why you would refuse.
I know why you would refuse to do it scared. Because it's scary.
That's okay. It's supposed to be scary.
But honestly, and y'all, this is like, as much as we're talking to y'all, he said he got his big stuff figured out. I am
not all.
I'm having a conversation with myself like, okay, dang, like there are some things that I am scared to pursue that I know, like I have that nagging feeling like, Rosemary, go for it. And pretty soon I'm gonna announce some stuff on here because I feel like once you say it, you commit to it. But if you are just like always waiting for it to get right, and in the thought of anything that makes you uncomfortable, you're not willing to do it, you're not willing to fail and figure it out and learn, then you're likely playing small, yo. Yeah,
and going back to the whole doing it scared, it's supposed to be scary. So, and I'm thinking about the book that we're reading, who, not how, because sometimes doing it scared is not just all you.
Yes.
Right. And
sometimes doing it scared is picking up the phone and asking somebody else to
100%.
be your who to help you.
Because
Read who, not how, y'all.
Yeah, because just because you don't know how to do it does not mean it doesn't get done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's part of the whole doing it scared also.
Yeah. And knowing that one thing that I will say that I've come to appreciate about my husband, it used to be a point of contention when my mindset was a little different and when he was a little reckless. We both had to grow. Is that Corey has always been the type of person that will rather bet it all on black and lose than to not take the bet. And what I'm learning with that is, you know, you have to use wisdom, right? I think that's the point of where we're coming from, is coming from a place of wisdom. And it's a difference between doing it scared and doing it stupid. Yeah. But when you do it scared, I don't think anybody is on their deathbed like, man, I wish that, you know, like, I wish that I would have, you know, saved more money for this moment. I don't know that they feel that way. Right. I feel like they are, like, when I quit my teaching job, y'all know the first thing I thought about? I wish I would have took all my sick days. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so mad that I left that job and I left 10 days up there. When, you know what I'm saying, I could have done something. I could have used those days to pour into my business, to pour into my future, to go to a conference, to go on vacation. Like, but I was scared of what somebody would say if I took off, so I didn't do it. And again, I'm not telling you to just be frivolous with your PTO, but I'm just saying that a lot of times we regret the things that we didn't do, not the things that we did do. Yeah,
and going back to doing the scared one more time, I think that is understand that you know what you like. Yeah. Right. So you're not just out there doing anything. If you're going to do
following everybody, because I'm thinking of somebody right now that every time they might need to get scared, because every time I look up, they doing something that just totally
not them.
It's not truly them. They're doing what everybody else is doing. So that's where that wisdom piece comes in.
Yeah. So know you and know what you like. You know, that's what I would speak on with in doing the scared. And then once you identify that, then get the information and then go out there and do it.
So yeah, this is like my husband said, a come to Jesus Eagle Talk. That thank you, therapists. You see, I'm out here, you know, just putting it out there. I am challenging myself. I'm challenging Corey. Like, we're just really looking at just different areas of our life where we might be playing it small. And it's not even just business or related. Like, you might be playing it small in relationships. You know, you might not be reaching out to other women, entrepreneurs, or women in your neighborhood because, you know, you just want to live in your little bubble. You're afraid to open yourself up. But by opening yourself up and just reaching across the table, you know, you may be opened up to a whole new world of friendship and communication. So whatever that looks like, y'all, let's get out of the habit of playing it small.
This is a real good episode. And you're right. Thank you, therapists, for asking her that question, because many people don't get asked that question, or, like you said, know how to respond. Yep. So, you know, hopefully this puts something on everybody's mind, and have us all thinking bigger.
Yep. So y'all, this is a good one. Go ahead, do us a favor. Like, subscribe, share. Like, if you're listening to us live on any podcast platform, rate us too. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to hear more of with Eagle Talk, and register. Look in the description box or the show notes. We're going to have the link so that you can join the Eagle Talk with Team Lewis VIP Insider. We're going to be doing some special classes, masterminds, things that you have to be a part of that to know about. So make sure that you get connected with us. And also, we're on Facebook.
Yeah, we're on Facebook. Over 1,000 members in the group, so it's growing every day.
And what's the name of the group if they want to join?
Eagle Talk with Team Lewis.
Eagle Talk with Team Lewis, totally free group. And also just a community where we're just supporting and loving on each other and challenging each other on how not to play small and how to live our best life.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
All right, bye, Eagles.